Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel. This is the first video of 2023, and what better way here to start things off than to talk about the biggest surprise of 2022. So we are basically gonna go and have a look at the profit retriever so that we got introduced to back in 2022, and this was back in March through Expert4x. We're gonna have a quick look at how it developed over the year, and also what has happened in the last couple of months. And of course, we're also going to have a look at what does the future look like for this particular robot. And everything, as you have seen, if you have followed our channel before, is very well documented. So back then here with the profit retriever, one of the first videos we actually did with this, when Expert4x came out with it back in March, and we got the chance to beta test it itself. We got quite excited, and this was actually back test results that we did on the video back then, saying that we could make 58,000 in just 7 months. It looked quite astonishing, but obviously it was achievable. Since then, obviously we have adjusted some of the lot sizing a bit, because again, back testing is one thing, another thing is real life trading. And obviously we also learned with this robot in the last 8-9 months that this has now been running. The second part that we then did was actually put all the different EAs that we had up and running at that particular time, and I think it was only 4 or 5. And we had the live demo accounts that we also shared, and within 4 weeks they actually made 9,700. Some of these were metals, so it was silver, it was gold, and a couple of normal Forex currency pairs, and then it developed on from there. But this showed exactly what the profit retriever could. Again, the profit was a bit high, the risk was also too high at the particular time, but it was documented results. Since then, we then came on, and this was in the June review, so not too long after, we added more EAs that we could actually get to work. That was good and stable enough. And we could then report for the June review that we had made more than $50,000. And that really started to get us going here of what else could this particular EA, what could it trade with. So since then, we know that it can trade also Bitcoin, it can trade metal indexes, is something that we're really looking into now. And obviously we continue to share this with you and also on the website itself. So everything has been documented all the way through. Now, 218 days after here, we could then report that our entire portfolio of these EAs that we set up for the live demo accounts ended up basically with a profit of $100,000. So quite astonishing after only 218 days. And that also given the fact that we only started with 4 or 5 in end of March, beginning of April. And from there on, it simply just took off. Now, since then, we also make reports on what is happening on a weekly basis. And we also do reports on what is actually happening on monthly basis. And part of the posting that we do is to try and update you on what is actually happening, what is the best currency to trade at the moment. And that is the top 5 hit list that we send out every week. So the top 5 hit list is the ones that you see here. This is something that we started to do at the end of 2022 to give people a better understanding of exactly what are the profits, because we do know that not everybody goes in and monitors week on week all our different currency pairs. But if we go back in September, we can see here that the British pounds was very dominant both on the Aussie and the USD. And you can see overall we made more than $7,000 or 14%. October was even better, and all the way up to more than $16,000 or 32%. And again, in both November and December, also extremely good numbers, more than $10,000 also in those particular months. But what we take out of these ones here is you can see the top 5, as we have been trading somewhere between 4 and 5 in the beginning, and we had up to, I think it was 18 at one point. Some of them just didn't work, some of them didn't move anywhere, but these are the top 5, and these are the ones that you should normally have a look at. To try and either trade yourself or go on the copy link trading. These are the ones that are really moving from our signals, and basically that is what we are trying to create and trying to show you here, you can see that the US 30, even though in October it was a bit on the low side here, it was only at 22.8%, which is definitely not bad. You can see it has done extremely well in November, 35%, and also 40 here. So these are some of the indicators of some of these are good month by month. You can also see the Aussie USD was on the 3rd in September. It's not on here in October. I believe it had a drawdown back then. And since then, the Aussie USD has again been in the top 5 quite a few times and was in the top 3 also in December. So these are very good indicators that when we post, that this is the ones to look for. Today we're obviously going to take it one step further and exactly show you also over the last 2-month period, 8 weeks, what exactly is the positives and the negatives in here. Now on our website we have gathered all the details, so from the profit retriever itself, and basically what you do is you go to our portfolio here. We have plenty of other projects in, but these are the ones we are talking about today. So the copy link trading and the profit retriever. And if you click this particular link, you will then get to the website where we also keep the last 4 months of top 5 EAs. And if we click on this one, you can see December. Top 5 is the same one as we just shown you here before, US 30 index. So this is a clear indication that this is something that you most probably should have a look at trading. Below here we also have multiple videos, and yes, we did have a loss also on one account, and this particular one is not hiding anything. It's definitely telling you exactly how you can avoid most of the losses in here, and we're also going to briefly go over this today. Plenty of videos in here as we developed our trading strategy, so with the profit retriever and showing the exact profits coming in. On top of this, we also have the top 5, and these are for the individual weeks, so you can follow it a bit more closely. And you can see again here US 30 was the one that did best in the very slow Christmas market and the holiday market here between Christmas and New Year's, 3.5%, definitely not bad at all. On top of this, we have also taken the best from Alex and Expert4x, some of the videos that we believe will be beneficial to you to learn a bit more about it. So Alex is, after all, a 20+ year professional trader, and we don't have that many years of experience compared to him. But definitely we are getting there, and we are getting better and better also at understanding the profit retriever itself. Now you can also understand this a lot better. You can actually go and click each individual link that you have here, and it will provide you with all the details on FX Blue, and you can see each currency pair as we trade them. So every single trade is in there since the beginning. Now on top of this, we also hear all the time, how can we get started? All these links will be below where you can buy the profit retriever itself. You can also have the Expert4x homepage where you will find more robots and where you can sign up for the premium forum. Definitely something that we encourage everybody to do, because ever since that I have come across Alex and Expert4x, my trading has definitely taken off. There's a lot of good experience, and there's also a lot of other traders in there that share their knowledge and their information. We are definitely not the only ones, but we might be one of the few that have done so much on the profit retriever. On top of this, VPS is also something that a lot of people are asking for, and the VPS, we have what we are using, VPS Forex Trader. We really like this one. It's extremely fast, and most of all, it's very, very stable. And then our broker also for our live accounts is IC Market. We really like them because they're doing everything that we need from our broker, and you can even get your money out very, very quickly. I have worked with them now for several years, and I'm very happy with them. Now, the interesting part here is the portfolio. As we talked about, the profit retriever should always be traded in a portfolio. And you can see how well it's done. Let's just make it slightly bigger here. We can see that since we started off, we have now a balance from the overall portfolio of almost 300,000. The equity at the moment is 239, and that means that you have a drawdown. And that is part of the nature of the profit retriever itself. It does go into heavy drawdowns from time to time, and that's exactly why you need a big portfolio. You need somewhere around 10 or 20 to trade, because as some will go in, other ones will continue to make a good profit, and you will see exactly also the outcome of all this as we go through it. Close profits 139,000. So from the 100,000 video we made, we have already passed that by a country mile. Monthly returns. This is actually, yes, it is correct. Of course, it's 13.1%, but it takes the numbers from the balance itself. And since we are not increasing the lot size as we are getting more in each individual trading account, this number here is actually a bit low. We continue to trade all our EAs as the account was always $10,000. It is the more secure way. And then there's options where you basically move that money and put it over to new accounts. I have covered that in the previous videos. Weekly returns 3% is definitely not bad. Total returns 172%. Trade wins overall for the portfolio is 69.4, which is not strange because most of the EAs are running in the area of 68 to 72%. So overall portfolio 69.4 makes all the sense. Profit factor 1.84. And as you can see, the risk rewards factor is quite high on this particular one, 14.06. Now, all the things that you need, you have in the stats itself, and we are getting a lot of information here. So if we go straight to the monthly results and we make that again slightly bigger, we can see the net profit. So this is the one, and this is back from March. And we started only end of March, that's why there's not really much, 1,800. Since then, it has slowly but surely grown. Some of the months, 10,000, more than 10, 13, 10. And then in August, we had a very slow summer. So end of July and August was extremely slow. Not much volatility at the time, so 8,000. Since then, it certainly picked up, and we also added more EAs to the portfolio itself, 18,000, 23, 21, 16, and now you can see in January we are slowly but surely getting going there. Already the first 1,200 is in, so things are definitely moving well, and you can even also dissect it down to days and weeks if that is what you want. And you can see that some of the highlights here was back in November. 1 week we actually made more than 8,000. Since then it has been pretty much up and down, and I think the more average is around 4,000 or 5,000. And you can see here in December, things are slowing down a bit. So, but obviously there's a lot of holidays in December, and not too many are trading at the same time. Now, on top of this, there's also the chart, and the chart reveals quite a bit. And exactly, you get this very nice up moving graph all the way through. When you are trading in a portfolio, you don't get all the ups and downs as when you look at the individual EA, and that is pretty much what we're looking for. So we started off back then with 4 or 5 accounts, so 4 or 50,000. Since then we made, I think, up to 18 accounts, and some of them we took off because they were simply not working out. We have a few more, and I will show you that in a brief minute. But overall, you can see that this is going very, very nicely. Even though we did have one crash, you won't be able to see that on here, but you can take that off as a loss if you want to. So let's go and have a closer look at see the individual signals and how exactly you are supposed to build up your portfolio. Now, just before we were shooting this video here, so I got one of the emails from the Expert4x premium forum, and some members actually asking again a couple of questions about the profit retriever. And Alex replied in this particular forum, and I decided I was going to put that in. So also, not all of the things that are in here we do agree with, or we don't do it in that particular way, but these are valid points, all of them, of course, from Alex, and I thought this would give you a good insight as to what is actually taking place, what you should consider when you start trading the profit retriever itself. So if we look at the number one part here, the profit retriever has been designed to trade with no interference. So a margin call is an ultimate stop, and traders should accept that as part of the strategy. Yes, we also do that, and we also had a crash here and there. It is not the end of the world. If you look at exactly the high profit that we are getting out of the profit retriever, we could actually have 2 EAs crash every single month and still make maybe a couple of $1,000. But obviously it doesn't happen that often if you set them up in the truly strategic way where you not taking too much risk. Then definitely you can accept the loss of maybe an account every 3 months. Obviously we don't really want to do this, but we are trying to develop a bit of a recovery process in here, and this is still very much ongoing. But to try and save some of the accounts, because it's never nice to have this happen. Some of the things that are in here is also at when a drawdown, it can take weeks for the profit retriever to resolve itself. It can trade in a drawdown range for a very long time. Another thing traders should accept, and that's what we also have mentioned quite a few times. They can go into a drawdown. It can take weeks, and it can even take months sometimes for these, because it do like to trade mostly sideways. And when you end up in a trending market, or when you end up with some serious news that basically spike the price range, so then it's going to be very difficult to come back and enter another trade. We have seen that a few times where they have it. I think we have 1 or 2 also EAs at the moment. After the British pound and the US dollars, there was some serious spikes in there. And when they go the right way for the profit retriever, it is excellent. You're making a lot of money. If it goes the wrong way, yes, you enter into a long drawdown phase, and you simply just have to accept that. That is also why, again, you have to trade it in a portfolio, so you don't just look at one particular EA, because that will bore the crap out of you. Then use Forex instruments only. Well, we're not doing that. We are using metals like gold and silver. And we are also getting more and more into indexes, because we can see that even despite the indexes might sometimes require a bit more than the $10,000 account, they are a bit more stable because they are moving less, because again, index is basically kind of a portfolio for different stocks in here. So they don't run away in the similar manner as you can see sometimes some of the Forex does. It does require a bit of testing, definitely before you start with metal and indexes, because they are using different lot sizes. So you have to double test and check everything on demo accounts before you go live. Otherwise you'll get some serious shocks. Also use a fully funded account of at least $10,000, and definitely 10 is the minimum. Most probably 20 or 25 is even better, especially if you can afford to trade it like this. Otherwise, go to the cent account instead. It makes more sense at the end of the day if you don't have several $100,000 lying around. Number 5 is use the decreasing lot strategy, and that is also what we are using. We are only using that particular one. We find that one to be the best working. And even though Alex is saying here, use an increased gap strategy, that is another way of doing this. We are running with steady gaps all the way through from first to last trade, and we are trying to keep our trading as simple as possible. Obviously, this is something we test from time to time, but we try to keep it as simple as possible, and that gives the best results over time and also the more steady results over time. Use the smallest practical lot size possible. For most Forexes, we are actually using 0.2, so some of them are a bit higher, some are a bit lower. Again, it all depends on the risk involved with the different strategies. British pounds, for example, is very volatile, so you might want to dial down the lot size a bit, where some of the other currencies can be maybe dialed up slightly. But again, this is something that you have to do with testing over time. Use big gap sizes, 40 to 60 pips. Yes, bigger gap sizes might not always be the case, because you can actually go from making a bit of money to making absolutely no money whatsoever. especially around Christmas. So you could have basically dialed it down to half. But we do find that most of our EAs, they do run from somewhere between 6 to 10 pips, and some of them all the way up to 50 or 60. It all depends on the currency pair that you are using again. So be mindful of that. Use a big portfolio, use up to 20 live accounts at the same time. Yes, for sure. Definitely we are using live demo accounts. We might not have the same computer power as Alex has, but definitely we have enough computer power to have more than 20 running, and then from there on we take the best ones and add them onto the live account. That is what it's all about. Only use an increased strategy after the decreasing strategy has reduced lot size to the broker minimum. Now this particular strategy we're not using. That basically means that the decreasing strategy goes down to the minimum that you will have on the strategy itself, and then after that the lot sizing will increase again. Not something that we actually prefer, because we have seen that this has crashed and burned many times for us. So not something we want to encourage. Use low volatility sideways or wavery currencies. Again, it comes back to the profit retriever doesn't like when currencies are trending. It's very difficult to recover, and that's exactly where you can end up in huge drawdowns. The only way you obviously figure that out is you go in and trade it on live demo accounts and see exactly how it behaves. If you can make it work, great. If you can't, then move on and try some of the other currencies instead. There is plenty of them out there. Demo trade 10 to 30 strategies for 4 to 6 weeks, and only the ones that provide the best results. Again, yes, that's exactly what you need to do here, and that's what we have done ever since day one. You demo trade as many as you can humanly possible do, and then after a couple of months' time, if it's only 4 or 6 weeks, I'm not exactly sure. We took more than 3 or 4 months before we actually put the first money into the test here. But since then, things have gone quite well. Review the videos produced from the profit retriever. So obviously, yes, Alex has made a lot of them, and we have also done quite a few. So that is very important to review all these things. And then you can study the strategies used by the linked account traders, and that's where we're going next. So you saw on our webpage that we had also the copy link trading, and we had the profit retriever trading. So the profit retriever trading is basically if you want to do all this yourself. If what we have talked about now is basically too much for you and you don't think you have the time for it again, definitely the new copy link trading, which was up and running, I believe, end of August, beginning of September, is showing to be more and more popular. And that also means that you don't even have to buy your own robot. You can simply set up your MT4 platform with or without a VPS or your local laptop. And then from there on, you can then go into the copy link trading and see what other traders are doing, and you can basically copy them. And this is very cheap, so all the way through. Now, at the moment, there's about 40 links that you can go into, and these are the links from last week. They are being updated all the time. And you can see the signal providers. They will have a link on the side here, the period of days that it has been running, and then total gains in percentage, starting capital, what is the minimum, and you can see 10,000 is here for all of them, the recent equity, and the gains on drawdown, the worst drawdown you have, drawdown percentage, and success rate. And again, you can see some of them are 65% and some are 73%. So again, roughly where we are. You can see the main symbols. This is the NASDAQ 100. And then the robot used, the profit retriever, is definitely the most dominant in here. Almost all of them is. The leverage that you have to use also as a minimum. The broker that are being used. And then the monthly gains. And obviously everybody is looking for the top ones here, so they want to make the absolutely most money. And you can see the money gain 204%. Who wouldn't do that? but it is worth noting also that these are extremely high risk, and we certainly don't recommend them. We have seen some of the setups, and Alex has even released some of the setups for the top videos in here. We did a bit of a test, and we'll do another video most probably on that a bit later, where a couple of the accounts has already blown. Worst drawdowns, you can see 11 and 14%, so definitely well over the 10,000 that was recommended, and you definitely have to put even double up on this in order to make sure that you can survive and your accounts won't crash. Some of the other ones are a bit more sort of within line with what we also have. You can see a very low drawdown, 331, and then you have a couple of thousand. You have one with 8,000. And when that happens most of the time, you will see that a lot of the traders, they try to adjust to make sure that it doesn't really happen again. From there on, you can see a couple of thousand. Ours are the links that you'll see in yellow, and they only start at link 12 down here. And again, we prefer to have somewhere around 15 to 25% most of the time. That is basically the target that we run for. We think that is a risk that we are willing to take, and we call that a medium risk. Sometimes, yes, some of the accounts will make a bit more. Other times they will make a bit less. But we do find that to be a reasonable one, and which we can also sleep at night. You can see that one of our accounts here has also a big drawdown, 8,500, and then we made some adjustments, but that particular number will stay since then. But 24% on a monthly basis, very good. And you can see the next ones are coming here also, 21, 20, and even down in number 20, you can see 17%. So these are decent numbers, and you can also see that they come from anything from gold to different types of Forex. British pounds USD is here, and then you can see a couple of indexes up here, Aussie 200 and the Nasdaq 100. Now we have made a little Excel here also, and if I just take myself off the screen itself, you'll see that these are the links that we have, and we use this kind of Excel to make sure that we know which ones are the best ones, which ones are running very, very well, and which ones we need to have a closer look at. We have taken the last 8 weeks, so you can see week 45 and all the way up to end of the year. And we also had the total sum that we have put in, and then also the total percentage that was made over that particular time. And then week on week, we can see below how much they have made. You can see 8,000 here for week 45, 4.7%. And then it varies through the individual weeks overall. Now we see the US 30 is in the top, British pounds, and we have the copy links set up here on the side. So if you want to follow in our links, then that is what you need to look for. You can also go on our website and go through the FX Blue just to double check to see if these are the correct links. So overall, in the last 2 months, it's basically 61% or 30% per month. So extremely well on the US 30. But you can also see some months or some weeks, it will give you absolutely nothing. It will be in a drawdown. Then it will come back even stronger. You can see the same thing here also. So with silver. And you also have sometimes with gold, even though they are doing quite well. Overall, you can see over 10% on most of these. And then as we go down the ladder, you'll see they're making less and less, and some of them are not making very much. You can see Bitcoin here also again hasn't really done anything. It's been a drawdown for a very long time. We did know that it was a bit of a risk to put that one on, but at the moment this has not really been traded by anybody. Obviously there's not really any good results in it at the end of the day. 1.33% is obviously not bad, but if it doesn't give any continuous one, better to use the money somewhere else. Now again, these are all the demo testing, and what you need to do is basically go in and take the top ones that you should trade instead. And if you took the top 10 out of what we have here, you can see that the 52,800 that they all gave was 20.52%. But if you only trade the top 10 in this particular case, you would have made most of the money anyway. So and that will be 28,000, almost 29,000, or almost 29% also over the last 2 months. So definitely a very strong robot. So all these at the bottom, you obviously keep them on the live demo account. You tweak them, adjust them, trying to get them up in a profitable zone again, and then hopefully there will be the mix. Some of the other ones will then drop down, and then you again stop the trading on some of the lower ones, and then continues the top 10 in there. That's how you're gonna continue to have a high weekly and monthly profit with the profit retriever. So definitely this is the way to trade it, and that's the way we have learned now to trade it, also thanks to the expert advice from Alex and Expert4x. As you can see with these results over the last 9 months, the profit retriever has definitely turned out to be an extremely stable EA. It has been doing extremely well. Yes, you need to understand how to work it, how the EA is set up, and that will take you some additional months. It has definitely also taken us a bit of time, and then you talk to different traders, you go into the Expert4x forum, and you learn a bit more about it, and you also get some insights as to what other traders are doing. Now we are quite comfortable with continue to trade and expand on the profit retriever itself. So we have seen what it can do, and we have seen it on our bottom line here also. So there's no doubt that in the future we will have more index trading, because it seems to be a good way to move. We will also add an additional couple of Forex currency pairs that we think is looking good right now. So all this will be coming in the first couple of months of 2023. It does take a bit of time to develop them, because first you have to test them, then you have to run them on the demos, you have to adjust them again, and only then will you add them on to the LinkedIn service. So obviously the process is a bit long and tedious, but when they come on, they have been tested, and you can be assured that we are also using all the links that you see. We are using also the best ones here on our live accounts. It's exactly the same settings. And that's what is basically all about here. You have to put in the work in order to make sure that the profit retriever will be profitable month after month. But if you think that all the math and all the testing that goes on behind the scenes, talking about grid sizing, lot sizing, so on and so on, then definitely the coupling trading service is the way for you. All you have to do is set up your own accounts, so you have still access to your own money in there, and then you just link with the traders that you think are the best ones here. And obviously again created in a portfolio, so you can have a few of the high risk and then put most of them in your medium, and you can take a few on the lower side, so that you have a good and steady portfolio that will give you hopefully somewhere around the 10 to 25% every single month. It is stable for a lot of the traders. You can see all the details are there, even on the coupling trading service for Expert4x. You can click the individual links and you'll get a lot of different information about it. So it is one of the most open places that we have ever seen on how to get started with trading. So it is very, very easy. So I hope you liked this video, and obviously this was a bit of a review of what has happened in 2022, but definitely we believe there's a lot more to come. And we also understand from Alex in Expert4x that he will add and expand on some of this coupling trading in the future. So we are quite excited to see exactly how that's going to pan out, and we will be the first ones here to come and tell you also a bit more about it once things are in place. So I hope you like this video. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. I hope to see you a lot more on this channel in 2023. Bye-bye.